Apparently, our president saw one too many homeless tents across from the White House, and he decided to fire off an executive order. Going forward, individuals with drug or mental challenges will be locked up instead of treated. Now, before I explain why I think this is both malicious and impractical, I want to state the obvious. Nobody wants people sleeping outside. It's not good for them, it's not good for the community, and it's not good for our society. But if the president bothered to listen to the experts on the ground, the social workers, medical experts, and mental health providers, he would have learned this crisis will only be worse and not helped by an angry order. If Trump really cared about the problem, on the very same day he announced hundreds of millions of dollars to renovate the ballroom and bathrooms in the White House, he would have spent an additional cent on homelessness. Instead, his edict to lock them up came with no new funding for mental health or for drug treatment. If he talked to the experts, he would have learned the overwhelming majority of people living on the streets do so not out of choice, but because they can't afford housing. The perversity of Trump's order is it's actually going to create more homelessness, not less. The Housing First model, it is significantly cheaper and more effective than what Trump wants to do, which would empower officials to detain and medicate people against their will. Now, beyond what's described as blatantly dehumanizing, it's proven to be dumb and against the national interest. Again, it should be everybody's goal, regardless of your politics, to not have any Americans sleeping on the streets. But last year, a nationwide assessment showed that more than 750,000 people did just that every night in our country. Experts who have tried the get tough approach have found that it just doesn't work. If you're an addict or mentally unwell, the best method to get them clean or on their meds would be to find a house to keep them in. In Colorado, the state's largest mental health providers found that getting the homeless into supportive housing saved taxpayers more than $3,700 per person per year in costs like jail and police time. Of those that received housing, 4 out of 5 of them 3 years later were still off the streets. When announcing his order, Trump pointed out that he was embarrassed to have world leaders see tents across from Pennsylvania Avenue. It's not exactly dripping with compassion, and it's not solving a real problem by making it a crime to be sick and poor. The plan will not work. It will only hurt the most vulnerable, put an even greater strain on an overtaxed system, and run up unneeded costs of incarceration. But hey, why let facts get in the way of a presidential order?